Hey, hey! Okay, look, we gotta be brutal and honest like an Estonian mother.
Welcome to the Third Wind channel, where today we're reviewing episode 9 of the second season of iCarly, which is titled I Hit Something. Let's get straight into the review of this penultimate episode of this season. Let's start by briefly going over the plot. So, the main plot is Carly kind of dealing with the fallout of a prank and getting angry at someone, and our subplot is Spencer and Freddie helping Millicent with a boy problem. We have everything from influencer fight club to teenage dating this episode, so let's take a look at the story through the viewpoint of our characters, starting, as usually, with Carly. I think it's fair to assume at this point that Carly really doesn't like pranks. So in this episode, when she gets pranked by a guy called Chris, it does not go over well for her, and the whole episode is basically her dealing with this anger of getting pranked. Carly finds some pretty extreme remedies for this anger, like finding cult-like influencers and joining Influencer Fight Club. At the end of the day, the only way Carly can feel better is to get revenge on Chris in a fairly violent manner, which I'll talk about later, but that's kind of Carly's story this episode.
I want to rake my nails across Chris's eyeballs until blood spurts out of them and I can drink it. Okay.
Freddie has some new excitement in his life, as if he needed more, with Millicent getting a new crush. Rather than doing the stereotypical dad shuts down crushes and keeps the boys out of the house, Freddie actually encourages it, maybe because he had this enormous crush on Carly growing up. We know that Freddie is quite easily influenced and gullible, so when Spencer mentions that he's a bit suspicious of Derek, he starts to get paranoid and protective of Millicent, and I think that's appropriate. All ends well, and Millicent has a new boyfriend, it seems, so Freddie has kind of successfully done his dad duties, I think, in this episode, which is fun to see. And I guess this time the crush didn't spread over 6 seasons.
Derek Fox Lubiner likes Millicent! Oh, I wonder if the restaurant in the Space Needle is available for a Christmas Eve wedding in 2042.
Whoa, lean back, Fat Joe.
Spencer is doing very similar things to Freddie this episode, kind of partnering up with Freddie in this task, and I always like to see Spencer and Freddie together. It's just a great chemistry between them.
I invited that boy into our family. J'ai reçu ce garçon dans notre famille. It means the same thing, I'm just learning French.
Harper is once again in full Carly support mode, helping her out with all the anger she feels, going through all the different remedies together with her, and providing her with different solutions, which I love to see, and she's a great friend.
We curate a positive version of that.
Oh, so you lied.
You are such
If you call me a hoot one more time.
What an exciting episode for Millicent. We get to see her first crush, and we get to see that materialize into being a boyfriend, and it's just really great to see this more soft side to Millicent. I think it adds a lot to her character.
You say something to your mom on the phone about being nice so that she does whatever you say?
Yes, but
But.
Next, let's talk about the Easter eggs in this episode. The most obvious Easter egg for me is presented right at the beginning with a prank, which happens again. Also, in this episode, I immediately thought back to the original series with that I Get Pranky episode where Spencer goes crazy pranking. And they even confirm the Easter egg in a way with that last scene where Spencer almost relapses on his pranky ways.
Replacing every book in his apartment with Twilight. Or sending him a photo of me licking all of his pens 2 weeks earlier. Oh God, I got a taste and I need more.
The second and last Easter egg I caught was Carly getting into a ring once again. I think most of us remember from the original series when Carly got into the ring with Shelby Marks, which was quite an entertaining episode and a good fight, you know, something unique there. But in this episode, we see her getting to a ring again, and that is, I think, a very obvious Easter egg back to Shelby Marks, although they didn't name drop Shelby Marks, which I wish they would have done. This week, I didn't really feel the need to highlight any scene in particular. For those of you curious, there were 13 scenes in this episode. I kind of like to keep track. But yeah, there wasn't anything in particular that I thought needed to be highlighted for the future or whatever. So let's get straight into analysis and takeaways. We're heading into our last episode now, and we've kind of gotten all the things they said they would deliver in this season, except for the Creddy focus. So I'm looking to see in the next episode a lot of Creddy. I think that that's going to be our main focus, and I'm excited for that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but this might be the first episode of iCarly ever to not feature Spencer's apartment. Especially, I mean, for sure the first episode of the revival, but even maybe the original, which I thought was a bit of a fun fact. And I guess we've been seeing a lot more of Freddy's apartment in the season 2, but yeah, I thought that was interesting. Now, next, I kind of want to talk about how they ended this episode with that big, just, beating up Chris, aggravated assault. Like, is that really a way to solve problems? Did Chris really do something that bad? Could you not have pranked him back rather than giving him physical injuries? I don't know. I kind of criticized the writers for going with that route. I thought it was kind of bad, It didn't feel great to watch that scene. This one is for the fans of the original. With all the pranks, wouldn't it have been appropriate to have The Joke Is On You, the song that appears in I Get Pranky and different times in the iCarly universe? I feel like it would have been so appropriate to put that into this episode. I would have loved to see it, but hey, it's fine. As much as it was cringy at times, I feel like the Influencer Fight Club is a bit of a fun commentary on the state of social media right now, where we're all fake on the outside and we get hurt by things people say online. So this kind of fight club and getting the anger out against these kind of perfect figures, these influencers online, was a fun little poke at influencers. Following with the revival theme, will we ever see any of the new characters we saw in this episode? Not a chance. If they're not going to bring back big characters like Neville and Nora, there's no way they'll bring back any characters we saw in this episode. But maybe they'll bring back Millicent's new boyfriend. I feel like that would at least be appropriate and would make sense, but wouldn't be surprised if they didn't. Also, his last name, Lubiner, is that not a little bit too similar to Lubert? That has to be intentional, right? So that was most of what I wanted to cover in this review, but what I want to hear from you guys now, with the iCarly season coming to an end soon, what do you guys want to see on this channel? Do you guys want to see me cover old shows, or ongoing shows, or things not related to shows, different tier lists? I'm going to have a lot more time soon, so I'm down for pretty much anything, and I'm excited for it. And I have ideas, of course, myself, but I wanted to give you guys a chance to let me know what you guys want to see as well. But this has been episode 9 review. A bit of a fun episode, but, not the best. But I'll see you guys very soon with a new video on the Third Win channel, and I can't wait for the finale of the iCarly Season 2, and after Season 2 is finished, we have a lot of videos to make, different tier lists and fun awards and whatnot. But yeah, thank you for watching this review, and I'll see you guys very soon.